All right. So my name is Jordan Johnson. I'm with Couples Create Cash Flow. I'm a licensed therapist who works with couples and helps them to communicate better and to connect better. And I've also been very interested in investing and real estate investing in particular, business ownership. And so I've decided to merge those two things together and help people to find a way to invest for their future and really have a strong money position as they look into their retirement years and what they can do for their kids, leaving a legacy. So today we're going to talk about the difference between cash flow investing and net worth investing. So we're going to define cash flow first. Cash flow is, simply put, the money that's left over after all your expenses have been paid. So the quick and easy summary of that is income minus expenses equals cash flow. So if you look at this on your budget, if you spend $6,000 in a month and you have $5,500 in expenses, your cash flow that month would be $500. Some people call that discretionary income. Some people call it your margin or your buffer. Basically, it's that money that you have that you could spend on whatever you want to, and you would still cover all your needs in each month. Also, in investments, a cash flow would be the free and clear money after your bills have been paid. A lot of times we're looking at a cash flow as a return on investment. So if you put $1,000 into something and you're getting $1 back, you'd be like, oh, okay, I'm getting some return on my investment. That's my cash flow. All right, let's define net worth. Net worth has to do when you add up all your assets, or the things that have a positive value, and you add up all your liabilities with a negative value. You subtract your asset, or then, sorry, you take your assets and you subtract out the liabilities, and that's your net worth. So assets minus liabilities equals net worth. So in this case, you would add up the value of your house, your car, your savings, your retirement funds, all of those things put together. And then you would take all of your loans, like your home mortgages, credit card debt, student loans, car payments, or car loans. You'd add up all of that, the total of all that, and then put those together, and you see if you have a positive or a negative net worth. So a lot of times people look at this as a lending perspective. From a lending perspective, if you have a home mortgage lending company, they're looking to see, do you have a positive net worth? They want to know, are you going to be able to pay your bills? Do you have a reserve in the bank just in case something bad happens? Net worth is something that a lot of our investment and retirement planning is focused on in America. So I want to focus in a little bit on the strategy of net worth investing. The concept is to buy an asset, probably a stock, a mutual fund, retirement fund, in a 401k, Roth IRA, that sort of thing. Buy it at a low price, or even better, dollar cost average, which means pay the same amount each month or on a regular basis and continue to buy things, regardless of what price they are. And that way you continue to get a good average of the price of that particular stock as you go. And as you do that, you're increasing how many assets you hold. So if you can spend your money buying assets, you increase your assets, which means you increase your net worth. The other way to increase your net worth would be to eliminate your debt. So if you bring down the total balance of your debt, you're also bringing down your liabilities, which also increases your net worth. So you see you have assets and liabilities. Those are the two levers you can pull. If you want to increase your assets or decrease your liabilities, that's how you increase your net worth. All right, and so then as long as you buy low and sell high, you're going to increase your net worth or your total position. So if you're looking at buying a stock when it's $5 and you're selling it when it's 50, you've made quite a bit of a gain on that particular stock. And then that is adding to your value, right? However, if you look at buying into something and the value goes down, then that decreases the value of your assets, decreases your net worth. So really your net worth is based on the total of the value at the present time of your assets. Now, obviously asset value changes from time to time. And so that's why when we have market crashes or market corrections and things like depressions or recessions, we end up seeing situations where people's assets drop in value. And then that creates a lot of fear, because really their whole value of their finances is based on how much is my net worth at any given point. So let's go a little further. Let's say you want to talk about retirement. If you're looking at the net worth investing side of things, your long-term goal is to accumulate a large nest egg of stocks and bonds that you can withdraw safely during your retirement years. Obviously, people are trying to retire as soon as possible, and in a lot of cases, not everything, but also people are trying to make sure that they do not run out of money in retirement because people are living longer than they ever have. But I want to introduce you, if you've never heard of it before, the 4% rule. This says that you can safely withdraw 4% of your nest egg funds each year without negatively impacting the principal, the base of your money. Basically saying that you can live off of this interest growth on your funds indefinitely. So the average rate of return for the stock market is around 7% per year. Average inflation's around 3% each year. Now I'm recording this in 2022. That's not the case in 2022. But in general, that leaves you 4%. If you withdraw the 4%, you end up having enough money to pay your bills and not have to take any of the principal of your investment out. So the way you would do this is you would take your annual expenses, you'd multiply by 25, and then that would be your retirement savings goal. So for example, if you made $100,000, or sorry, if you had an expense of $100,000 each year, if that's how much your lifestyle costs to run, you would multiply that by 25, and your savings goal for retirement would be $2.5 million. So essentially, once you had a stock portfolio worth $2.5 million, you would then be able to take 4% out per year and then be able to retire by using the 4% you pulled out each year as your main income for the entire year's expenses. That would be either all at one time, in a lump sum, $100,000 in January, or maybe you just pull out what you need each month. And at that point in time, you would just be able to live off of your investments. So then the goal of working would be put as much money into your retirement accounts so that you can get to your retirement savings goal. So that's what net worth investing looks like. Let's look at cash flow investing. For some reason, I'm not able to go to my next slide. All right. Did I accidentally delete it? Here we go. Cash flow investing looks at, instead of a total amount of assets and a total amount of liabilities, what it's really looking at is if you're going to retire, you need money to pay your bills each month. The way you would need to make that money or have that money is through passive means, not active. Active income is when you work a job and you receive a salary or hourly wages, and so you're trading your time for your money. So no matter how many hours, or sorry, how many dollars per hour you make, you only have a certain number of hours per week you can work. When you're in retirement, you're trying to reduce how many hours you work so that you can spend more time doing fun things or living a lifestyle that you've always wanted. So the idea would be if you could replace your active income with passive income or money that's earned without spending time working on it, then your goal could actually be to have your passive income be greater than your monthly expenses. So if you could find ways to buy assets that throw off a passive income each month, then you could just buy enough of those assets and fund your lifestyle with the cash flow, not necessarily from a net worth position. So in this case, you would not need a nest egg of millions of dollars. You would just need enough assets that produce cash flow and have the passive income from those assets pay your monthly expenses. So a typical way that this strategy is successful is if you get into real estate investing, dividend stocks, business ownership, or crypto staking. There are other ways, obviously. You can create a business that has very little input from you each week. So if you've ever read Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek, it would be that style of business where you really don't spend a whole lot of time operating the business and it generates automatic income. But I want to focus on a couple of different things. Real estate investing is probably the number one on this list because you can, with just a little bit of education, get into real estate investing no matter where you live. There's always people looking for places to live. There's always people trying to sell homes at a discounted price because they just need to get rid of it. And so I very strongly suggest, if you really want to know how to make more passive income, if cash flow investing sounds more intriguing to you than saving up a big nest egg, look into real estate investing. And this channel, I will definitely be talking more about that in the future. But essentially, you are buying a property, you are becoming the landlord, you're putting a tenant in the property, they're paying you rent, and the rent that they pay you covers the expense of the loan you have on the house, plus the expenses of running the house, and you still have money left over. And a good resource for that would be Bigger Pockets. They are an online community. They also have a lot of calculators that you can run numbers for different real estate deals. And they also have a podcast that's been going for a long time. Very, very helpful. A lot of very good interviews with very prominent people in the space. Personally, I've listened to so many hours of those podcasts that I feel like I actually know what I'm doing with real estate investing now, which is great. The other option would be dividend stocks. So some stocks that you buy do not pay dividends, but if you decided to put together a portfolio of dividend producing stocks, every quarter you'd be getting dividends paid out to you. And then essentially, if you were to own enough dividend stocks, you would be able to have enough passive income to operate your lifestyle. That would be very difficult to do just in general because it takes a lot of dividend stock ownership to produce the kind of cash flow that you would need in order to pay your bills. For example, many of them are something like $1 per quarter, $1.50 per quarter per share. So you would really need to buy a lot of shares in order for that to work. However, it is passive income because just owning the stock creates a flow each month. There are no expenses to you to hold the stock. And so anything you get with a dividend is passive income. So even if you just put dividend stocks into the mix, if you're looking at buying some stocks, it might be good to consider what dividend is being paid if you really want to look at it from a more passive income cash flow investing strategy versus the nest egg net worth type strategy. I mentioned business ownership. There are so many different ways you can own businesses. It's crazy. You could run a business and actually own it and operate it and actually get some decent cash flow. But a lot of times it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of energy. And if you want to do really well at it, you have to know how to run a business. And that is a learning curve for a lot of people. I would really strongly recommend Business Made Simple by Donald Miller. Very good overview of how to run a business. There are so many other great resources, but I would start with that. And then crypto staking. So cryptocurrencies lately have been developing into, giving you more opportunities. So something like an Ethereum, you can do what's called crypto staking. You can purchase a large amount of Ethereum, and then you can host it on a platform where basically you are depositing that into this platform, and they are lending that out. They're lending based on that money in the cryptocurrency. And so those funds are being secured, and then you're getting paid a dividend or a yield off of your deposit. So it's like a high yield savings account. But what I will say is that they are very untested, and a lot of times you're putting your crypto, you're locking it up unnecessarily and kind of losing the control of it. And in some cases, actually getting hacked and losing all of it. So just do that with very great caution in this day and age. But there are definitely going to be more opportunities in the future to use cryptocurrencies as a staking and passive income option. All right. So we are going to finish up here for today. I do not believe I have anybody on the call at this moment, but what I want to do is just say thank you for watching. I'm planning on doing live streams on Mondays, and hopefully that I will be able to get some feedback from all of you about what types of topics you're interested in learning. My goal is to provide couples in particular with some framework, how to have some good investing strategies to make sure they're planning for their own futures, their kids' futures, saving up for things that are important in life, and really to just live a lifestyle that's really fun and enjoyable without feeling like money is a stressor. So if that's you, I invite you to come back. Couples Create Cash Flow will be live streaming each week. Thanks so much.